I will wait for everybody to catch up. All right. There we go. You know, I just realized I missed a great opportunity. I renamed this stream We Chattin' Part 2, the continuation. What I should have done is said We Chattin' 2, Electric Boogaloo. And I blew it. Man, what an opportunity. It's one of those things, if I would have thought about it 10 seconds earlier, yeah, it would have been, oh wow, all my levels are off now. I got to redo all these levels. I will rename it. But Electric Boogaloo should have been it. Wow, it reset everything. All right, you get to watch me get my color back in real time. You ready for this? Let's peel back that curtain. There we go. There it is. Oh, goodness. Let's look, it's real bad. Yeah. Yeah. So I am under fluorescent lights. So so yeah, it is I got a fiddle to get this working. All right, that's going to have to be good enough for now. That also means probably this one is off too. It's not bad. I'm going to do a small tweak on this one. Hello. The sequel to Clara gets her groove back. DC gets his color back. Stella, there you go. It's all good, man. Let me just tweak this one real quick. All right, close enough. Well, gain doesn't need to be that crazy. There we go. We'll go there. All right, I think that's going to be good enough. We Chattin' 2, the stash strikes back. I don't even know how to live change anything here. I are dumb when it comes to working all this stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't even know how to live change the name. So I'll change it in post. The great statement, creator dashboard. Actually, so I don't go through creator dashboard. I go through OBS. Let me see. Let me see here. Yeah. I don't see it. It's fine. Boy. I see it. All right. I'm going to do a hybrid of both. It is now the electric stasheroo. Somebody will get it. But yes, as I was actually saying, thank you, Lee. A lot of people have reached out. And what we're going to be doing is I am going to be keeping track of everybody that has donated. Get back here. I've been keeping track of everybody who's donated. Um, when this comes to fruition, and there's quite a few giveaways, we will do randoming. It's the best way. But a bunch of artists have said immediately, "Hey, I want to send you some stuff. I want to help out. I want to help raise money." Um, obviously, this has all happened just within the last couple of days, so obviously this is still a work in progress. So it's going to be at least 2 weeks. T-Bone's like, I got some stuff. It's going to be probably in a couple of weeks. It's not going to be anytime soon. But thank you for the donations. We will be doing another push. Doug and Trevor were like, obviously, DC, this is what you do. Do what you do. Help your family. So they've been very gracious. But we will do another, probably a more dedicated show where I simply, do the randoms and we just start giving more and more stuff away. Nerd, absolutely, please do. Please share your current project. Nah, man, always. We are fully into, by the way, Legends of Vox Machina is hilarious. I have never wanted to be a bard more in my life. I love the show. I love the show. Please tell me you are making that gun. Please tell me you are making that gun. Oh, it is so great. For those who don't know, it's not safe for work. The picture is. The cartoon is not. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. My screen does not want to share. There it is. There we go. What is that gnome doing with my daughter? So Percival, who is an awesome complex character, is a firearms expert. He is, but they play it really, really well. Steven's like, my main is a gnome bard. Gonna need to etch that out and backlight it, right? That's gonna be a pain in the tuchus. But that's what makes it worth doing. Steven, it's funny. So, as you guys know, I am a nut for R.A. Salvador and his Forgotten Realms series that star Drizzt Do'Urden, arguably the most famous dark elf in D&D lore. And I have recently embarked upon starting a campaign with Steven and Mrs. the Breaker and Maddie. And I chose to do, and according to R.A. Salvador, the pronunciation is Genasi. I like Genasi, but whatever. To do a Water Genasi monk, because I thought, hey, that's different. We're allowed to use legacy characters, and Stevens as a DM is very lenient on creation. It's a naturally rolled character, and we naturally rolled really well. I'll share them with everybody. So I was thinking of this, I had to come up with a nice backstory. I wanted it to be fresh and new and interesting. And, one of the ways that my Ganassi made money was he would go pearl diving and make all of these interesting and beautiful works of art. So, let me just make sure. Okay. So, believe it or not, that is a natural roll. That, no joke, Steven can tell you, I live rolled dice, and absolutely that is how I scored. with the roll 7, get rid of the bottom one. So I have a very OP. I mean, look at this. Unarmored. I have an AC of 16 without armor. I'm going to say that again. Without armor, I'm an AC 16. It's kind of dumb. It is kind of dumb. I am a nasty little tank. I am also a bare-handed one, although I do have a belaying pin as a club. But yeah, it's just nasty. It's a nasty character, and I'm very stoked to be a bare-chested tank in the campaign. He's T's like, I don't know what you're saying, but I like it. Yep. So I am going to be a bare-chested, bare-handed tank in this upcoming thing, with the possibility of swinging a club. But I'm going to be all martial. It's going to be a good time. Now, you're not here to talk D&D. Maybe we will have a separate D&D chat. You are here to see amazing art and the stuff associated with it. So why don't we get started on that? Let me bloop. How about this? How about this? Look at this. Are you ready for this one? Oh, my, oh my. To quote the late great Gene Wilder. Oh, boys, look at what we got here. Doug has entered the fray. 18 of 25 is the Doug. Art spoilers. Yeah, I could do that too. We're going to go with Dougie Hauser, MD. Oh, good, it didn't open all the way. Excellent. Excellent. There we go. All right, Doug. Good luck, my friend. All right, survey says... Doug has managed to get the only one we could not find the car for. But I have to say, it's one of the top iconic pieces in the run. Hands down. The Mirthmobile. Swing! Oh, goodness. It is a 1977 AMC Pacer. Yeah, right now you just want to belt out Queen. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. We're scum. So now what we have to do is we need to get this into the hands of somebody who can paint on metal and have them paint the blue and the flames and make that a custom work of art. And maybe even tack on a little red rope licorice dispenser on the roof. If only we do an artist. Now, I would immediately tap our dear friend Paul, but unfortunately, it's not green, nor is it wrapped in burlap. So if it isn't green, I don't think he can paint it. But we will figure something out. I love you, Paul. I love you. Leah's painted ships. Actually, yeah. There it is. Actually, fun fact, our dear friend Rob Lowe lives about 10 minutes from where I'm sitting. He's like, I needed to wear my cup. Yeah, Rob Lowe is a Santa Barbara resident. He can be seen around town doing healthy things and being ridiculously handsome. I haven't seen him. The only celebrity that I have seen here in Santa Barbara, besides Doug and Trevor and Lee, would be Hulk Hogan. And he doesn't even live here. He just happened to be driving by in a big black truck. Yogging? T-Bone, is that yogging? Yogging? The J is silent. Yogging? This is a new craze. Everybody's doing it. Yogging. I put a helpful reminder on the big board. We have some Bing. We only have a handful. What's going on, Craig? Uh-oh. That's yellow. Wow, Craig, thank you so much. I almost forgot to mention. So, for those who are not aware, LA is under blizzard warning tomorrow. I'm going to say that again. They are expecting up to 6 inches at higher elevation in Ventura County, just north of LA, right between where I live and where I work. And all of LA is under a blizzard and possible avalanche warning. Yes, I said that. No. Ice Wolf, if you remember, Don is here from Buffalo this week. Don brought the snow. Don is under the bus. I blame Don. This is Don's fault. It's global warming. Hello, Mel. Hello, Jimmy. What's going on, Sepulros? Get the toboggan out. Fun fact, I think we just threw out James' snowsuit. So how funny is it that we're like, we'll never need this. And they're like, boom, 6 inches of snow. So, not Vanek. Although I do own a Vanek jersey. Rasmus Dahlin. Yeah, it's just, wow, what a great pick he was, man. I should say. Absolute stud. So we may not be live tomorrow. We may have to push back the pajama party. Now, I, being a person who living in Buffalo, readily studied radar, and I'm not joking, this is not a bit, I'm being serious. I can read radar pretty good. You learn to follow the patterns. When you live in Buffalo, you literally, Doppler radar is something you learn to read because you need to know when you're going somewhere. And the weatherman can't predict every square inch of his territory. So you learn to look at the radar and figure out how much snow is coming. We will know the gist of it by noon Pacific tomorrow. That is when a bulk of the data will be in as to where the snow is falling. The problem is, I can drive through snow. I can drive through blizzards. I've done it, literally. The people of Southern California, by and large, cannot. No offense. Not rated for it. Our tires are not all seasoned. They're summer tires. The roads are grooved for drainage, which is not conducive to snow. And people will go their entire lives not seeing snow and not know how to react to it. So I'm not worried about my ability to handle it. I am worried about the people around me not being able to handle it. So as of right now, we are suspending tomorrow until further notice. I have already talked to our special guest. I will keep our special guest informed because I had mentioned about what time we would figure it out. That person's like, yeah, that'll give me enough time if need be. Possibly. You mean this isn't the gods must be crazy. So I will keep an eye on the Instagram. For those who may not be attached to the Instagram, the DCD Collects or the DC The Breaker or the Trevor's Baseball Cards Instagram, all three of us will be sharing it. At around noontime tomorrow, we will announce whether or not it is a go. That is also why I have not posted the spots for the break yet. That was intentional. I don't want to sell those out and have them sitting there if I'm not going to be live. So, if I am going live, you will know by noon Pacific. And at that time, the spots for the break will go live. That is the best update that I can give you. Also, that reminds me, today, it's only 6:48. I gotta be out of here by 8. So I have another hour and 10 minutes at the most. Tonight, there was supposed to be heavy rainfall at about 10 o'clock, right on my path home. And they're talking storm. So I have to be out of here to beat that because southbound 101 PCH is one lane splits. And when it gets wet, those splits tend to flood out and you have to go 5 miles an hour. So this will definitely not be a long one like last Friday. Tonight is going to go maybe another half hour, 45 minutes. Yeah, Cocaine Bear. By the way, it looks like a hilarious movie based on a true story, but the true story is pretty simple. Smugglers dropped a whole bunch of cocaine out of a plane. A adolescent, middle adolescent, teenage brown bear found it and ingested an entire kilo of cocaine and thusly died right next to where it inhaled all of that cocaina. And the bear's nickname, by the way, is Pablo Escobar. He is stuffed and in a ranger stations not far from where he ingested the cocaine. So, that's true. That all of that is true. They took the premise. Somebody bought the story. I don't know who they bought it from. Probably the bear's kids. and decided to make a movie out of it. I hope the Bears kids get a lot of money. Yeah. And it's like, you got the Red Heat reference. Pablo Escobar, yes. Yeah, okay, yeah. I didn't, yes. Escobar. Yeah, that's the truth, yeah. Oh my God, Sepulros, that is an entire day of chatting on its own. The monkey that took the photo of itself, and the argument was the monkey should have gotten the credits. But the photographer thought he should get paid. Blah blah blah. Pablo Escobar. Yeah. So yeah, all of that is true. All of that is fun. That's just gonna get better. Pablo. Hey, let me show you a picture. I got a picture. Hold on. Let me get the picture. Let me show you. Where is he? Really? Where are you gonna make me look? There we go. There we go. Here it is. Doot. There it is. Pablo Escobar, or Escobar. That is Pablo. That is the real cocaine bear. That's it. That's real. That's that guy. I mean, look how big look his eyes are like. Whoa, whoa. Hey, I've got a story for you guys. You'll never guess what happened. Wow. That's the look of a bear who definitely could use could use a drink to level out. It is yeah, actually, it is Ray Liotta's last movie. How fitting. How fitting is it? Oh, it was a black bear. I'm sorry, it was a little one. Little black bear. Not a brown bear. It was a little tiny black bear. So fun fact, and this is true. The easiest way, what up, Dangle? The easiest way to find out if you are being chased by a black bear or a brown bear is this: climb a tree. If the bear climbs up the tree after you, kills you, and eats you, you were killed by a black bear. If it stands at the bottom of the tree and shakes you out of it so that you fall and then it kills you and eats you, you were eaten by a brown bear. That is the way to tell what kind of bear is chasing you, in case you need to know. A black bear will climb the tree and eat you. A brown bear will shake the tree until you fall out and then eat you. Look in this picnic basket. Yep. It's a Boros. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If you were curious what was chasing you, just climb the tree and look down. If it's coming up to get you, you're gonna die by a black bear. If it's at the bottom, it was a brown. That's it. Not if you don't give them hugs. So black bears are extremely nimble. We have them in Western New York. This is true. Allegheny Mountains. And most of the time they are there. We have bear caves in Allegheny. We have bear caves where they hibernate. You're not allowed in the bear caves. although people go in them all the time. But any time that you're actually in the park, if you ever do see them, like 9 out of 10 times, believe it or not, they really are in a tree. The black bears will go in a tree and they will scout. They will go after, no joke, honey. Excuse me. They will go after anything. And they will also camp in the middle of a tree looking around for something to eat. Are they drop bears? No. No, I am not going. So, drop bears is an Aussie thing, and I'm not going to ruin drop bears for my Aussie friends. They are allowed to have that fun. That is their thing. So, drop bears are strictly Australia. But I know the truth of drop bears. I am one of the knowledgeable ones. I love it. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's amazing. If it's black, fight back. If it's brown, get on the ground. If it's white, just die in fright. So, as a Cub Scout, and I was a Cub Scout. I made it all the way up to Weeblo 2. Don't even. It's just what they were called. I don't know if they still call them that, but yes, your rank was Weeblo. And it was Weeblo 1 and Weeblo 2. Just stop. It's not worth the joke. We had to learn the difference. And actually, the defense tactics they told us. If it is a black bear, curl up in a ball very tightly, covering your vitals, and crap your pants if you can. Now, I always thought probably would be involuntary, which is a great thing. But if you smell like boo-boo, they will smell you and just not want anything to do with it. Because typically, if they smell doo-doo, that means there is intestinal tears, and usually that means the meat is bad, and they typically will only poke at you, swat you around a little bit, and then leave you alone. Paul's like, oh, it's really worth the joke. Yes, Dangle, we might not be live tomorrow due to a blizzard. I'm not joking. I just, right before you came back, I went over all of it. I'll briefly go over it again for a minute. Let me finish the bear story. If it's a black bear, they told us to get big and yell. Get big by spreading your legs out as far as you can, your arms out as far as you can, your fingers spread out. If you have your hat, take your hat off and wave it. Get big and yell as loud as you can. The black bears are not big in comparison to other bears. Grizzly bears, aka brown bears, are massive. Grizzlies are the big boys. Black bears are smaller, faster, nimbler. That's why they climb trees. Black bears also typically will not take down something very much larger than itself. So if you get big and get loud, and it is only one bear, typically not full grown and definitely not a mother. By the way, if you see female cubs, or if you see bear cubs wherever you are, run in the opposite direction, mama's close by, and mama bear, there's a reason they call them mama bears, and they call women who have kids that fight back mama bears. They will kill you just so that you're not near their cubs. All bets are off. It's exactly it. It's true. Ice Wolf will tell you. Ice Wolf probably already knows what I'm talking about. If you see cubs, do not stop and take the photo. Instantly run. Mama is not far. Fact. If you see cubs on the side of the road, chances are mama might have been hit by a car. Different story, but still. Do not stop for the picture. You turn and you run the direction you came from. Fact. Anyway, digressing. A black bear will back down if it perceives you as bigger and larger than it and louder. So if you can intimidate a black bear. You cannot intimidate a brown bear. That brown bear is bigger than you. I don't care if you're 6'5", 400. When they stand up, they're 7'5", 800 on the higher end. They're going to eat you. Your best bet is to play dead. They don't want anything to do with dead. Just cover your head because bears actually like to start with the heads, and they tend to eat heads first. Google it. I'm not lying. So, isn't that why they say to wear bells so they can hear you coming? I can't remember that because we didn't subscribe to that as scouts. Most bear attacks end up with crushed skulls, not because of paws, because your brains are delicious. And if you notice, when they eat the fish, they eat them heads first. This is a true story. There was a movie, a documentary called, I was a Grizzly Man, about a. All right, don't get me started on the character of this dude. The guy, in my opinion, was a dumb, but he got spoilers if you're gonna watch Grizzly Man. He ends up getting eaten. I gave you the spoiler warning. And then basically it's what they did is they crushed his head. Like the first thing the grizzly did was chew his brains. So yeah, yeah. Siporos is like, I just read that if you're close enough for them to hear the bells, you're screwed. Everything you needed to know about bears came from the great outdoors. Big Bear. Oh, you want a Big Bear sandwich? Big Bear, chase me. That's right. That's right. Oh, now she's bald on both ends. That's a lamp. Yeah, but it's loaded. Air horn is effective. Bear spray. It helps. It makes them angry. Most of them. So bear spray stings their eyes. It's actually kind of reminiscent of bees attacking their eyes, which tends to have them run. Bear spray is always good to have. Honestly, gunshots, you don't need a high caliber weapon. You can actually shoot blanks. Typically, a gunshot will cause a bear to pause because they can feel the percussion of the round. But you're not taking a bear out with a 22 or even a 45. Like you better be muzzle loading or shotgun with slug, not pellets. You're not taking a bear down. God, that movie is great. It is phenomenal. Noise. They shoot the gun over the top of it. If you hit it, you're just gonna make it angry. But it'll feel the percussion of the explosion from the gun. It'll see the fire. That's your best bet. Now, obviously, we don't. Did you ever see the bear repellent on Shark Tank? I did not. Did you ever see the shark repellent on Batman? There's a reason why they're called bear bangers. Yeah. Yep. So anyway, yeah, this is all true. This is literally stuff I grew up learning in the Cub Scouts because we would go camping and living in Western New York. People think Buffalo, they think city. 35, 40-minute ride outside of Buffalo is woods. Another hour is Allegheny State Park. So you could go to the Allegheny Mountains, which blend into Appalachia when you start going south. Yeah, I would go camping. I would spend weeks in the woods with nothing more than marshmallows, marshmallows and hot dogs, and no mushrooms in any way, shape, or form were ever involved in our camping weekends the third week of April. But we had great times. It is Sapporo's. That's why I love Sapporo's. Sapporo's, you know I love you, and the reason I love you is because you're a walking encyclopedia. And if you don't know something, you look it up and you learn it. And I, my friend, respect the hell out of that. Hellbolt, I can't imagine somebody of your stature having a good time in a tent. For For those who don't know, Hellbolt is 7'11", and could bench press a Volkswagen. Coworker is in the state record books for a black bear. Also, a friend of mine was mauled a few years back while hunting. Won the fight, but has the scars to prove it. Yeah, black bears are the only ones you have a chance of winning against. There is no surviving a grizzly. Unless, again, you play dead and just curl up, cover your head, and cover your guts. Polar bears, I don't know much about them. That was not in my required reading. I do know that their hair is conical and actually clear, and that their skin is black, despite the fact that their fur appears white. And oftentimes they can appear to have a green tinge because of the algae that grows in them. Polar bears will actively hunt humans because humans have decimated the polar bears' natural hunting grounds, killed most of their seals, and so on and so forth. So polar bears are on the brink of extinction, and they will eat anything they see. Anything they see. Yeah. Yep. No chance. No. Nope. Black is the only chance you have. And if you don't scare it, don't get me wrong, a black bear is gonna eat you too. The kicker is, even though they most animals in the world in general don't like the taste of humans and will typically not go out of their ways to bother us. What's going on, Doug? We taste bad because we have high iron count in our blood compared to other animals in the animal kingdom. Sharks typically don't eat us. A shark will bite you, taste you, and spit you out. The problem is you typically bleed to death before you get to the shore. We taste bad in the animal kingdom. Boy, Doug, did you walk into an interesting conversation. Paul got mauled by a cougar once, but she didn't answer the calls afterwards. But hey, that's Tinder for you. Yeah! Woo! Oh, goodness. That's great. No, Dangle, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, most people don't realize your legs are not safe. You have a thing called a femoral artery. And if you get your femoral artery even nicked a little bit, you can bleed out in 45 seconds if you cannot stem the flow of blood. 45 seconds is all you have with a femoral artery nick. 20 seconds if it's on your throat, which if you're in the woods and you get nicked in your throat, it's just game over. Like, if you got one shot, use it on yourself. You're not making it. But femoral artery, you got 45 seconds to stem it, and then you're unconscious and you're gone. Fake laugh. Totally fake laugh. Dangle's like, I've been stalked by a cougar, but I got the heck out of there. Dangle, man, listen. I have a joke for you, but since I have been so kind and you donated to my brother, I'm not gonna pull the cougar joke for you. Freddy Cougar. Yeah, you're probably not making it with Freddy Cougar anyway. So, Doug, would you like to know which car you got? Because we did find out as a group. Dangle's like, I've been stalked by a cougar, but I got the hell out of there. Because Dangle, you probably don't want any more kids. I think you gotta pause. That cougar took one sniff. He was like, oh, he's breeding material. Dango's like, training timeout. I'm gone. Thomas stepped on the keyboard. Hello, Thomas. Right, Ice, there you go. Hellboat's like, I once had a coyote stare at me. I was walking in the woods. They went, nope. They turned around and walked off. Nerd, that'll do it. That'll do it. All right, Doug, you managed to get the only one we couldn't get the car for. Dougie Hauser with a Z, MD. So what we need to do is, I don't know if you have any friends that are artists. You got to get them to paint it blue and throw some orange flames on it. Yeah, a family of raccoons stare me down. I have a raccoon story that is a camping in Allegheny story. And I don't know if Doug and Trevor would appreciate me telling it. I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, Scaramouche, what do you do the fandango? Yeah, one of my funniest camping stories involves a fire pit sanctioned. We had a permit. A fire pit, some marshmallows, a fat raccoon, and not being in my right mind. And it's one of those stories where you're like, oh, interesting. So that'll be another story for a brewski, and maybe my old channel. I might resurrect the old channel for that one. That one I don't think they'd appreciate. KP, maybe. Listen, in my 20s, I had a very interesting life. That's all I'm going to say. I had a very interesting circle of friends and an interesting life. But we were roasting marshmallows and weenies on the ends of sticks and a fire. And we had some guests show up, and it was weird, man. We were not in the right frame of mind to have guests at our campsite. And it was, oh, well, you can figure it out. Yeah, all right. The raccoon's like, Dave? And I'm like, Dave's not here, man. Yeah. Let's just say it ended with me handing a marshmallow over to a raccoon. And him just copping a squat next to me and eating it. It was... Moral of the story was, I didn't think it was real. I'm trying to keep it PG-13. I didn't think the raccoon was real. I thought it was part of the evening. And then my buddy Nick was like, hey, dude, who's your friend? I was like, oh, you see him too. That's awesome. Thanks, man. He's pretty cool, isn't he? Now, this raccoon, this raccoon was a big fatty. This is a big boy. This was not his first campfire. Let me just tell you that. This raccoon knew his way around the campsite. Let's just say that. Because this tub of lard just came waddling up and just like sat down in front of me. I was like, well, and I'm like, well, obviously you need a marshmallow. Like, obviously you need a marshmallow. So I'm like, here's this marshmallow that is pink, and now it's purple, and now it's blue, and now it's red, and now it's melting. Well, let me just hand you this marshmallow. And he just whoop takes it, rubs it on himself, looks at it, and just sits down and just starts eating it. Like, thanks, bro. And I'm like, this would be cool if it was real. And then Nick's like, dude, who's your friend? And I'm like, oh, he is real. And then he had a hot dog. My dear friend Nick gave him a hot dog. I don't remember much about after that. I had to take a walk. Oh, but yeah, it was interesting. Maitland's like, I am not drawing DC and this critter as Groot and Rocket. Come give me a hug, Ranger Rick. It was yeah, again, to be young and dumb, it was funny. We were sitting on, like, it was so, I mean, it was stereotypical. It was me. God, I don't know if I had a girlfriend at that time. I don't think I might have been rolling solo that year. I think I was. I think I was single. I was single. I was single now that I remember it. It was me, my buddy Nick. Shout out to Nick. You know who you are. You're never gonna watch this, but I'm gonna shout you out anyway. It was me, Nick, Nick's girlfriend, who is an absolute B. What a horrible person she ended up being, which is funny because I told him, like, dude, your girlfriend's horrible. I've known you for 10 years. You've known her for like 10 months, and she's a turd. She is a big fat duty head. And he's like, yeah, but I love her, man. I mean, she showed me her boobs. And I'm like, I don't care. She sucks. Fast forward 3 years, he catches her in bed with like our best friend's little brother. I was right, is all I'm getting at. So it was me, Nick's friend, who I don't remember his name. Nick's girlfriend, who I don't know, we'll just call her Cowface for now. And a bag of marshmallows, some hot dogs, some pixie sticks, which pixie sticks did not get used the way they were supposed to. Some hula skirts, some coconut bras, and a couple packs of Marlboro Reds. Okay. So we had a good time. We may or may not have worn grass skirts and coconuts. Yeah, I was living the life, man. That was us. That will definitely come with a gold sticker. Yeah, it was interesting. I bet you, now I do. Back then, it just would slide off. This is a fun fact. I used to be a skinny mini. I didn't start really gaining weight until like right before I got married. I hope y'all are making notes. I'm going to need the notes when I draw this. You have to imagine. So this is, all right, Paul, you want imagery? How about this? Let me blow all of your collective minds with this statement. Okay, let's paint this picture. I was 25 years old. That puts this around 2005. I would have weighed about 170 pounds at 6 feet tall. I would have hair about this long that would be braided into little braids that stuck out Coolio style all over my head. I did not wear glasses. I never bothered wearing glasses. I only started wearing glasses last few years because it got bad enough. Picture the scene, Sicily, 1923. I got you, Paul. Oh, Golden Girls. So I have a head full of like braids that are about this long that are just randomly put all over my head. My head was actually it was shaved. All of this was shaved. I just had this like top crown. All right, Doug, take care, buddy. Party on, Doug. This was shaved like right here, all the way down was bald. And then I had this stripe of hair on the top, parted down the middle that was so long that it came to like right here. So I had friends that would just braid it, just grab a hunk of hair and just braid it out so that I would have these little floppy braids all over the top of my head. This is on my life true story. So I'd have these little floppy braids all over. I would just devilishly good looks. And I would probably be in it was August. So probably jean shorts and a t-shirt. Or grass skirt and coconut bra. Hanging hanging out with two dudes and a girl in a cabin. That was that was our idea of a good weekend with marshmallows and other marshes or mushes or whatever they are. I was a fun guy, let's just say that. But I digress. Yeah, that I had a great experience with a raccoon. It was cool. I don't remember. We gave him a name. For the life of me, I can't remember what we named him. It wasn't anything cool like Rocket. It's either the start of a horror movie or an adult film, right? There was a fungus among us. Man, yeah, we had a name for him. My name is Jeff. My name is Jeff. It was something like dumb that we were just like, oh, that's like Melvin or Morton or something like that. It was just a dumb name. Sounds like a euphemism. Yeah, we just it was cool. But this fat, so we're sitting. I might as well tell the story. I've already told 90% of it. All right, all right, kids, grab a beverage. I'll finish the story. All right, so we had just spent the day. All right, I'm going to skip that part of the story. So it's nighttime. It's nighttime. We are the four of us are some type of way. We decide it's time to light the fire, and we had a permit for booze, and we had a permit for a fire. Um, Paul, I think Doug picked it up. I believe so. Kevin, and we actually did. So, so we were camping in a cabin, and when I say cabin, it's the loosest term cabin. It was not much more than it was more than a lean-to, but we're talking like tin roof and plywood walls. It was a shack. Yeah. Take care, chef. Thank you. It was a shack, but it had bunk beds. And that was it. The toilet was an outhouse down the road. The showers were next to the outhouse down the road. But it did have showers down the road. The Love Shack, baby. It was a shed. But it had like crappy military bunk beds in it. So we're like, okay, we've had some drinks. Shack is my last name. Ah. We I had so many jokes. We have we were done playing indoors, Ladies Shack. We were done playing indoors, so we're like, all right, it's dark out. We have the permit for the fire. Let's start the fire. We were super responsible. Like we did, we dug out the bottom of it. We surrounded it with rocks that were not river rocks, that were standard rocks. There was like one log that had already fallen that somebody looks like they dragged over from the previous pit. And then there were a few stumps that were chopped stumps that it looks like the Rangers put there for the purpose of sitting. So it was literally, we pulled up a stump. Not a huge fire. It was just a medium-sized one. We weren't there to be crazy. We're just there to chill and cook some marshmallows and hot dogs. That was going to be our dinner, was marshmallows and hot dogs. I mean, up until that time, I would say like the most we had eaten is probably an eighth of any food at all that would pass as food. So we were pretty hungry about that time because an eighth of an ounce of food is not a lot to eat. So about an hour after that eighth of an ounce of food was digested, we were like, wow, we really need to eat some food. And we had hot dogs and we did have hot dog buns and beer and Goldschlager and marshmallows. So we start this fire. It's a modest one. Again, we're not trying to impress anybody. We're just trying to chill by the fire. It's already fairly warm out because it's August. And we're sitting there and just kind of watching the fire change colors and watching the smoke rise and change colors and, you know, staring at the trees that are swimming over the top of us. And we're just hanging out, chilling. It was awesome. And I'm like looking at the canopy of the trees above us. And I'm watching the canopy branches high five each other, shake hands, and like bump, dap, and like their own inter-tree handshaking that they must have worked centuries to learn. And they're just chilling. They're they're dapping each other up, talking about their great day, watching campers below. And I kind of hear like my buddy like rummaging up next to me. And he, I can feel him. I'm like thinking, man, I could sense him to the left of me, but I knew he was to the right to me. So I'm like, huh. And I look and I'm like, haha, that's a pretty fat raccoon. This would be awesome if it was real. So I was like, there's only one thing you can do for a really fat raccoon, and that's give the man a marshmallow. So I like get the bag out, and this raccoon is just sitting there. And it is like looking at me. And I swear his arms are crossed. He's just like, you gonna eat that? So I hand this raccoon this marshmallow, and he literally just goes, and he like sniffs it, he looks at it, he rubs it on himself like this, and then just starts going to town on it. And he's like just nom 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 nom. Just mowing. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. I wish I could take a picture. I mean, 2005, I don't even think I owned a cell phone. So like he finishes and it's like looks at me and it's just like, and I'm like, that's gotta. I mean, I now at this point speak raccoon. He goes like this. I'm like, oh, that means I need another marshmallow. So, boom, marshmallow number 2. He grabs it. He rubs it on his chest. He looks at it. He eats it. I'm like, I can talk to raccoons. And I'm like just digging this raccoon is just sitting like a human on his butt with his hands out in front of him, sitting there, tubby is all get out. And then I hear, oh my God, he's so cute. And I'm like, you see this too? That's even cooler. And then Nick's like, dude, who's your friend? And I'm like, and I named him. I don't remember what I named him, but I know I named him because we called him that. And then the next night we were hoping he would come back and he didn't come back. But Nick's like, oh, he needs a hot dog. And I'm like, yeah, he needs a hot dog. So Nick hands him a hot dog. He houses the hot dog. Like, he should probably have a bun with his hot dog. He wasn't thrilled about the bun. I do remember that he didn't eat the bun because he ended up throwing the bun in the fire afterwards. And then it's kind of foggy after that. I was... The weirdest thing about him is he was blue and purple. I think that was the part that was hard to digest. Is that I vividly recall him being blue and purple. In hindsight, he was probably normal colored. But I thought he was blue and purple that day. But yeah, he was definitely wearing a mask. Thankfully, he didn't rob us. But that's it. That is my abridged version of the raccoon Allegheny story. And all of that is true to how I remember it. Okay, so all right then. You know, Dangle, it's safe to say that raccoon is dead. 2005, that raccoon ceases to be. That is an ex raccoon. That raccoon is pining for the fjords. Dead from diabetes. Hi, I'm Wilford Brimley, and I got diabetes. He's just resting. No, he's not. He's plumb dead. He's dead. Oh, that is one sketch I could listen to over and over again and just not get tired of. Yeah, his lovely plumage. The only reason he was sitting there in the first place is someone tacked him to his roost. No, I didn't. Oh, my Lanta. This. Let me move that. Let me move this. Let me see what I have here. There we go. You dare use my own spells against me, Potter? Yeah, I grew up a huge Monty Python fan. Even before I had my minor obsession with England, and actually before I even lived there briefly. I was always into that dry English humor. When we had a senior project for video production class, my friend Jake, my best friend of my teen years growing up, and the neighborhood kids and all of our girlfriends did a spoof of Monty Python and the Search for the Holy Grail, or Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Our spoof was called Jaunty Nylons and the Holy Piss Bucket, I believe. I think that's what it was. So yeah, Dangle, let me phrase you. As of right now, it's canceled because we're about to have a blizzard, allegedly. Noon Pacific tomorrow, I will be reevaluating based on how much snow has fallen, if snow has fallen, and where. If it is missing between Oxnard and Santa Barbara, which it's not going to miss completely, but there's a good chance the snow doesn't fall until it gets inland. There's a chance coastal may not be affected. If coastal is not affected, I will be here. If there is any snowfall coastal, because the streets are not prepared for them, and frankly, car tires here are not all season. They are summer tires. I'm, for safety reasons, not going to do the show. But I will have a definitive answer by noon. If by noon we are going live, you will be able to immediately go to the website and buy spots for the break. So that is definitely happening. We may have a guest in-house. We don't know. It's a possibility. It is a long shot at this point, especially considering weather. But we may even have a special guest in. Yeah, sliding into the ocean is actually a possibility, especially southbound. But so spoof, high school, media productions class, Jaunty Nylons and the Search for the Holy Piss Bucket. This is gonna tell you everything you need to know about my years in high school. So my character was Sir Laughs-a-Lot. He was a hippie stoner knight, wore a tie-dyed shirt, and a big floppy, stupid 90s hat. Those big, dumb rag hats that certain people used to wear in the 90s. Was... I wonder if this video exists. I would no joke, if I have to see if Jake is still alive. If Jake is still alive, because I'm not exaggerating, a good portion of my friends are all dead. That I grew up with. At least 60% are dead. I'm not joking. Seriously. About 60% of my young friends are dead. If Jake is still alive, I have to see if him or his parents have this video. I would pay him $500 for the rights to this video. On Cheese Shop sketch. Oh, I'd have to bone up on my... I'd have to bone up for that one. So I was Sir Laughs-a-Lot. And I was... God, now that I think about it, in high school, I was already full of movie magic. There was a scene where we were redoing the Knights That Say Knee. And it was... The word was... They would freak out when I said the word... I think it was smoke. So in this scene, the Knights Who Say We. So it's Sephiroth. You're not far. Check out this. This is our movie magic. I take great pride in this piece of movie making here. So we shot this on my buddy grew up on 200 acres in a town called Colden, New York, outside of Buffalo. He had about 200 acres. Great hunting. It's where I learned to shoot guns, um, and to track deer, and turkeys. And we shot with a handheld Sony. At the time, it was an HD. No, it wasn't an HD. It was like a 780p, which was like the newest thing in the 90s, whatever it was. So we shot this whole thing handheld. And in one of the scenes where we meet the knights that yeah, it's Pearls, it's actually pretty close. Jake was the main character. I don't remember who he was. What name we gave him. But the scene opens with him pretending to run, and somebody in the background, we had the fake horse. We didn't have coconut shells, but we used our hands. Anyway, so he's blah, blah, blah. We stole music from the actual movie and used the intros. Da, 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 da. And you cut to sticky icky bong. You cut to like me. I'm kind of like leaning against a tree, pretending to sleep. I got the big stupid floppy rag hat on. And I'm leaning against a tree, and I'm in the background of this shot. And we found this. It was I want to say it was either oak or maple tree. You have the horse action figure. Pansy. We the horse, oh, it's empty. Got it. So I'm saying I'm in the background, I stretch, I yawn, I walk behind this tree, and I drop my pants. And when I drop my pants, this tree was about this wide, and I had hidden a gallon of water and it was kind of like that, Sapporos. You know what I'm talking about. And we had a funnel. This is revealing way too much. So we just happened to have a funnel with a 3-foot hose attached to it. We just happened to have one handy. Jesus. So behind the tree, I have this funnel with this hose attached to it, and I have this gallon of water. So what I did, and it's high, you can't see it, it's hiding behind the tree. So what I did is I had shorts on underneath, but they were, I had a long shirt on, so you couldn't tell. So I pulled my pants down to my ankles, and as I'm doing that, I'm standing close to the tree. And as I do that, I reach down and I pick up the hose and the funnel and this gallon of water. And my hands are like just where it's blocked from the tree, but it looks like I'm just holding my male member. And out the other side of the tree starts this flow of water that absolutely looks like I'm peeing. And I'm in the background going, oh, God. And every once in a while, I would stop pouring. I would like pretend to shiver and then start pouring again, and the water would start pouring out. And I was doing like basically the pee scene from Adam Sandler's audio comedy disc where the person's just peeing forever. And there's like a 2.5 minute peeing scene where it's just going everywhere, and like I'm just spraying it and I'm really playing it off, and it's hilarious. It's a whole gallon of water. And then obviously when it's done, I put it down, I pull my pants up, and I walk around the corner of this tree, and I'm like, hey man, you got some smoke? And then the knights and he like, no, can't say that word, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it looked beautiful on camera. And even our teacher, our media production teacher, said, I was certain I was about to fail you for using a pee scene, like using like an implied nudity. He goes, and then by like minute 1.5, I was either going to be like either Dave needs to see a doctor or you guys are really good at this movie thing. And sure enough, that was Wee Man before Wee Man. Horse action figure posted in collecting on Discord. Please take a look. So, sure enough, yeah, we got an A. No, we got a B because I swore. I don't remember what I said. It was very faint on camera, but I swore. And they caught it in the background. It's the horse action figure. Wrong directions. I love it. I love that sense of humor. So anyway, yeah, it went well. There was accidental nudity that had to be censored out, but we had a video toaster, so we were able to censor it and save the film. But everybody besides me decided to wear kilts, which was basically towels, and no underwear. Because, if you're wearing a kilt, you can't wear underwear. It's against the law. And there was a scene where my friend Jason, who in some ways looks like he is a direct descendant from a bull moose, where we're dismounting our fake horses, and he swings his leg over his horse to dismount. And the whole world got to see exactly how he got his nickname. And we had to blur it just to save the film. And then, of course, we got in trouble for bringing it to school, but they said, this is too good to get you in trouble for. Yeah, it was fun stuff. So actually, now that I think about it, like as early as the 90s, I was into video production. It's just at a amateur level. Actual coconuts, not plastic. That's what she said. All right, everybody. I think that's enough. I have probably overshared today. Yeah, I got to get a hold of Jake. I got to see if he's still alive. I got to see if him or his parents have that video. I got to try to get that from him because I remember it was hilarious. Some of the scenes were like the worst shot garbage, like hack, just trash. But we had two like really good scenes that were like legit framed, choreographed, with beautiful cinematography for teenagers. And the pee scene was one of them. So before it starts pouring, let me check if we have any orders real quick. And if it's a no, we're gonna go see what everyone else is doing. All right, let me see. What do we got here? How about something pretty? We haven't gone and checked on Kayla in a while. So let's see what Kayla's doing. Let's see what she's doing. So again, everybody, thank you for the donations. We are going to do a big push in a couple of weeks with all the giveaways. Thank you for all the artists that have pledged to give art away to those who donated for my brother. It means more to me than you could possibly imagine. I can't stress it enough. I love each and every one of you. Please take care of yourselves and each other. We're going to try to do this again tomorrow and have our PJ party. Please stick to the Instagrams to see whether or not we should know by noon if it is going to be a go. And we will keep you posted. So please, bear with us while we figure it out. As you can imagine, I think they said there hasn't been snow in this area since World War II. So it's been a while. But we will keep you posted. I love you all. I appreciate all of you. Hopefully we can do this again tomorrow. If not, I will be giving you a personal video on Instagram to explain what's going on. So let's see what Kayla's doing. She's probably up to something amazing. I don't know. I haven't looked. But let's head there now. All right, everybody. Love you and bye-bye.